Hello, everyone. I just thought I'd try to make a brief um, kind of announcement just to explain a few extra things about the notes, the paper, and the textbook. I realize that I've put out a lot of announcements this week. I will not normally put out this many. This is the first week, and so I'm going to try to make this really short, and hopefully this will clear up some things if you're having a hard time following with anything else so far. So, one, you must have notes for all the videos in each week's module, and I know this is a little bit overwhelming at first. And some of them, if it's longer, will say that there needs to be more than 2 notes on them. What I want to remind you is, first of all, I know and you know. If you did not have to write notes on these videos, would you watch them? No, you would not. Not because you're lazy, but because you're busy and you wouldn't prioritize watching them. So this is a way to kind of help you, force you to watch the videos. But now what I also hope is that you're going to learn something from them. So keep in mind, when I look at the video notes, I'm simply looking to see, does it look like you watched the video? Okay? And some people cut corners. That's you're paying for your education. I'm not here to investigate, exactly what you're doing on everything. Just, I'm gonna look at your notes, and if it looks like you watched the video and that the points that you're making are coherent and speak to what was mentioned in there, okay, you get full points. With the papers, again, these are not research papers. You do not have to use MLA, Chicago style, or anything. If you're going to be a history major at the universities, we use Chicago style, which is not something that's really used at Modesto Junior College. And if you wanted to practice by using Chicago style, that's up to you, but it's not required. And you do not have to have a works cited at the end, a bibliography at the end. So so then what am I expecting? I gave you an example of a paper, but just to clarify, I said that it could be a minimum of 1 page, and that's literally all you have to do. But if you're going to put in the minimum, I want the maximum in the minimum. And that means I want it to be packed full of content that looks like you addressed the topic and that you really did understand the information we covered. And then I just want parentheses after, whether it's a paraphrase or a direct quote. Okay, if you don't know what a paraphrase is, look that up. If you're still confused, write me about what it means to paraphrase. But a paraphrase or a direct quote requires a citation. You could put the title of the book or the lecture. But if you put the title of the book, I want the page number. Okay? And so the whole point of these particular papers is the same thing that I'm doing with the notes, is it needs to look like you're in the class engaged with the material. So I'm going to look at your papers and I'm going to tell, did you really go over the content that we covered? And so that's why it has to be only from content we covered. And that could mean like the reading links, just whatever was put in the weekly, the module of that week, that's what you use, because you're just demonstrating to me that you engaged with the material that we covered for the week. That's the whole point of these papers, okay? So that's why I don't, these are not necessarily put in a conventional way. And the citation is just to make sure that I'm seeing that you're not going on Wikipedia or anything else. Although most of the time I can tell when you're bringing up content that I did not cover or the textbook did not cover. So let's talk about the textbook lastly, really quick. The textbook industry has really been annoying, and they've made it very problematic for me to do what I used to do, which is I would make my lectures correlate perfectly with a particular textbook. But I can no longer get just textbooks the way I want anymore. They keep wanting to push these expensive online kind of interactive programs where you take exams and quizzes through like Revel or something else like that. I want none of it, and it's basically becoming much more difficult to just get a textbook And the one that I wanted to use for one of my classes doesn't even exist anymore. So what I wanted to point out, if I didn't make this clear, is if you could only get a textbook that doesn't maybe a different edition, and it doesn't perfectly correlate with the pages or the chapters, that could happen. Within the textbook, what you're going to want to do is just make sure that the content that you're covering in the textbook covers the lectures. If it doesn't, there's a glitch, and you need to kind of surf around the textbook. I am so sorry that you have to go through that. I don't really know the answer at this point. I've had long discussions with folks in my industry, in my profession. I don't know. It's frustrating. So hopefully that part's not any more confusing to you. If you're using the textbook and you're looking at the lectures and you're writing the paper and everything's fine, then just don't worry about it. If you're having some struggles with that, that's what's going on. If you're still confused, please contact me and we can talk about, the discrepancies between the textbook and the lecture that you're being exposed to, and the videos, other videos of different scholars. So that's pretty much it. It's already, I'm working up here in Portland just for another week. And then I head back to Santa Cruz, and eventually I'll be back in Modesto. I see the temperature, it's getting really hot here, and Modesto is going to be scorching, as I can see. So hang in there, everyone. Drink lots of water, and don't let yourself roast too much. And keep contacting me if you need anything. I am working a lot, but I do try to call students on when I get breaks, if I get a chance. And I try to respond as quick as possible. So that's it. Have a good day, and we'll keep staying in touch. And